is up, ladies and gentlemen of the Online Jamily? JamiroFan 2000 here, the beard of wisdom of the Online Jamily, with a new episode of JamiroReviews. For any members of the Jamily who are not familiar with this series here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel, this has been my periodic series looking at Jamiroquai merchandise, official and unofficial sometimes, here on my channel for over nearly 10 years here on YouTube. And this episode is going to be a little bit of a revisitation of one of my favorite items that I accidentally left on vacation. Let me give you a little bit of context for anybody who doesn't know this story. Back in 2023, when I was invited by Jamiroquai to come over and attend the Victorious Music Festival over in Portsmouth on the east side of England, my first international trip to go see Jamiroquai live, the first day that I landed, I ended up having a dinner with the lovely Derek McKenzie of Jamiroquai, the drummer of Jamiroquai, at a pub. My first time eating in an actual British pub. But at that pub meal, I ended up, prior to that vacation over in the UK, I had received a fanzine, which was a very rare published 19-page fanzine, which was published by Sony Music in early 1993 to promote Jamiroquai, with republishments of some of the rare picture photo shoots from that early time in Mercy on Planet Earth's album era, and of course some republished articles of interviews with band members of Jamiroquai in those early years of Jamiroquai. But to make a long story short, I was at that dinner with Derek McKenzie, aforementionedly, and I had brought this fanzine with me to show him it, and of course, you know, I was very overwhelmed with this trip altogether, so me making mistakes was bound to happen here, but I accidentally left that said fanzine, very rare fanzine, which I ended up getting in an eBay auction for about, I'd say about $25 before shipping. I left it in the pub, and I never was able to get it back. But, you know, fast forward to now, thanks to some lovely members of the Jamily, and luckily some more copies of this rare fanzine came up for sale on eBay just by coincidence. One of my friends ended up buying it for me for my birthday, so I thought I'd do a little JamiroReviews revisitation of this great fanzine, and here is that fanzine in question. Now, this had been shared over a lot of the years, and a IMGUR album of high-resolution pictures what I shared. But I'll give you a good close-up of this. But this was a rare fanzine produced by Sony Music. Once Jamiroquai had signed their 6th album deal with Sony Music in early to mid-1993, this was produced, and it was, like I said, it is basically just republishing of old articles with band members of Jamiroquai, specifically JK. So here, you know, there you go. And there's some rare pictures, you know. Very rare fanzine. Like I said, this was only produced up to a few thousand copies, but luckily 2 copies came up for sale on eBay, and one of my lovely members of the Jamily ended up getting it for me for my birthday, so thank you, Mumsy. I really appreciate it. But this is the rare fanzine, and like I said, it is a 19-page with lots of great articles and pictures of JK from back in the day. Like I said, these are articles from mostly UK publications that were republished for this fanzine. And in my original video, when talking about this fanzine, an actual person who worked for Sony Music in the time was not gracious enough in my original video about this fanzine to leave a comment talking about how this thing has lots of autocorrect errors and everything. It was made so haphazardly, but nonetheless still an amazing item for any Jamiroquai collection. So if you're lucky to find one of these for sale, like I said, only a few thousand of these were published, but this is now my 2nd copy of this fanzine, and I'm so happy to have it back in my collection. I thought this justified a new episode of JamiroReviews, but I hope you enjoy this episode of JamiroReviews. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe and ding the bell on your YouTube, stay up to date on all the latest new content coming to the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel as we roll into the end of February into early March 2026, and I'm sure lots of news about Jamiroquai Album 9, the first single, and the album itself will be forthcoming in the next few weeks and months. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000. Thank you again for watching, and if, like I said, if you want to check out the high-resolution screen grabs of this 19-page rare fanzine, they're up on my IMGUR, and I'll be sure to put a link to that IMGUR album so you can check it out in your own time down in the description area of this episode of the JamiroReviews down below. But as always, this is JamiroFan 2000. Thank you again all for the support, and I'll see you around with more new content here on the JamiroFan 2000 YouTube channel. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Thank you again, everybody, for the birthday greetings. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you around.